Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I'm the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. Welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Happy Wednesday, everybody out there. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We have a lot to talk about here today, so let's get started and get going.
Matt, happy Wednesday. How you doing, my man? Back in the building here. Lots to talk about. How you doing?
A bit better, but I'm okay.
Well, we're in the building. Lots to discuss here. A lot of Colorado Buffaloes news to discuss here, Matt, here on this fine Wednesday. Let's get into it. And, Matt, I'm going to start here. I'm going to start in the NFL here. We're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens here, and this is a story that I think you're just going to love. So Deontay Johnson, Ravens wide receiver, reportedly refused to enter a game in 41-degree weather last year because he felt ice cold. Now, Matt, I'm going to let you take the stage here. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's pretty soft, but it's typical. It's typical of the modern day pencil neck. I mean, there's a lot of tough guys and there's a lot of guys like this. So I don't know where he's playing now. I don't know if he's still in Baltimore or not, but I can't imagine. Cleveland,
Matt.
I can't imagine this guy has a job for very much longer. I mean, that's a bad look. But whatever, he's fast and he can catch the ball when he wants to. But guys who don't like football, who play football, I don't understand you. You know, and like it just doesn't make sense. Just if you don't want to play and you don't like football, just leave and stop taking someone else's job because you have played longer than them, because you're not a better player. I guarantee you there's some kid out there that's a way better player than this fucking guy. And, he just gets a roster spot because of his name. So I think it's a bad look, but it's nothing new. The NFL's full of bad looks these days.
Yeah, just an interesting story. And this was Deontay Johnson, his response to this on Twitter. He posted a tweet last night that said, "Move on," with the shrug emoji, Matt. So I don't know if you put any merit into that, but that's his response to it. So I don't know. What do you think of that?
I think we should move on, and he should move on. Everybody should. I mean, look, this is a bad look for that kid. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't think he gives a shit.
Facts. Yeah, that is true. And he's in Cleveland with Shador Sanders and everybody else over in Cleveland. He just bounces around that division. I mean, he's been with the Steelers, Ravens, and now Browns. Matt, let's go ahead and move forward, get into Colorado Buffaloes news here. This past weekend was, probably the last big weekend in college football recruiting, really until later in the year, if anything, for the class of 2026. But Colorado lands 4-star corner Preston Ashley. He picked Colorado over Florida and Florida State. Matt, he's a big fan of Coach Prime and lands in Colorado, picks Colorado. What are your thoughts?
DBU, bro. I mean, this place is 100%. If you want to be a dominant corner, this is where you go.
Yeah.
Not only do you have Prime, but you have great position coaches and great lineage and guys who've been doing it way, way before Coach Prime got here. But he's really legitimized, that title. There's been a lot of really good players before the Coach Prime era, and he's just heightened that. And won a Heisman with Travis and all the McKinley and all the other cats they got back there. So this is just another great player added to the mix, and I dig it. I mean, this is it's good for recruiting as well. We'll see what happens on Saturday with Deacon. But this is another good, strong step in the recruiting process forward for them to keep landing quality high school players.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well said. And, Ashley, like I mentioned, is a big fan of Coach Prime ever since he was a kid, actually. He told DMVR, and quote, Coach Prime has been my hero ever since I was a little kid. My first day training, I had a do-rag on, and I said my name was AKA Deion Sanders. It was about playing for a school that's building up a legacy because Colorado, we're going to win a national championship. I know what we have in Boulder, and a national championship is coming soon. Preston Ashley, shout out to DMVR for getting that. Matt, Ashley's certainly encouraged. Colorado's building something, massive year ahead. How do you feel about Colorado secondary as a whole headed into 2025, Matt?
I think they're going to be strong. I think that, like I said, I think the defense is going to be the best in the Big 12. So I think they'll be strong. I like the depth. This is another depth piece, but again, this is a kid that needs to come develop and get his feet underneath him.
Yeah.
But still, I like everything I see. So, from a perspective of work ethic and everybody filling in and not replacing Travis Hunter, but reloading in the secondary, that's important. I think the secondary is going to eat because I think the defensive line is going to be pretty mean.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Rex.
Yeah. Coach Pecco, Coach Sapp got the D-line going. I can't wait to see it. And I expect the defense, like you mentioned, best in the Big 12. That's definitely feasible. I expect the defense to take a step up and Coach Livingston's second season here. But nonetheless, Colorado lands 4-star cornerback Preston Ashley. Good pickup for CU. Let's move forward, Matt. A lot more news to discuss here. And, Matt, before we discuss this topic here, let's talk about a kid that didn't commit to Colorado, is uncommitted right now, but is kind of taking some heat and certainly is all over the internet. Felix Oho, Matt, one-on-ones kind of went down with him. I believe, what is this, a rivals camp or something? And I don't know. He's certainly getting the work, Matt. You sent me a couple clips of this. Matt, you want to break this down? Because, I played offensive line briefly. He just turned around. I don't really see a set here, Matt. But, Matt, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's as bad as you're going to get as an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And I know he's a great prospect and he's big and shit. But, again, how much does he really like football? Is he really working? Does he have anybody that's actually helping him? Because that looks like he's never taken a pass up before. So, now all that said, he's pretty good. Like, he's a really good football player. He just had a rough day. Now, This shit right here, I'm sorry, but as an ex-defensive lineman, I would never do a backflip. I like Rhule. I think he's a great kid. Bro, it's a one-on-one pass rush in T-shirts. Like, it's not that big of a deal, number one.
Exactly.
And number two, if I'm the offensive lineman, we're fighting. I don't care if you beat me or not. You're not going to show me up like this.
Yeah, that's some disrespectful
But it's a different generation of kid, bro. Like, this is just the way it is. These kids accept this kind of blatant disrespect. And honestly, the defensive lineman, he could do that because he just whipped your ass. But at the same time, like, that's some Mark Gastineau shit right there, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like, come on. At some point, just, okay, you beat me with T-shirts on. Like, run back to the line of scrimmage. I think it's a bad look for both kids. I love the defensive end kid. I think he's a great player, but just cut the back flipping and shit out. Of course, I'm going to be the bad guy here because somebody like is the leader of this kid's fan page and will have a fucking heart attack because I just said that. And the Ojo to Boulder train, I know that's already over, but there's somebody out there that probably runs that fan page too that's going to have a fucking heart attack over this. I think both kids are really good prospects, and we'll see what happens.
No, yeah, well, so I think the train to Boulder, so to speak, for him is far than over. He visited, said he was not. They took him out. He took him out of their considerment in his recruitment, and then Colorado Buffalo Nation sees this over the weekend and responds as you'd expect, Matt. I'll say that. It is what it is. But I think there's a lot of great offensive line coaches in college football that could, certainly help him. We'll see how his recruitment does going forward.
Help yourself.
Yeah.
If you're a 5-star talent like that, and I see this as a coach, I'm immediately calling you and being like, what are you doing? Are you training? Are you doing anything? Am I about to look like an asshole bringing you in?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
I'm sorry, but
real.
That's a bad fucking look. Bad look. And It's almost worse that he didn't fucking stand up for himself after getting backflipped on. That's worse in my opinion than losing the rep, because the reps and t-shirts, I can handle that. I'll just teach you how to do it. The backflip thing is like you're just taking it, and the dude's just talking shit. You're just taking it.
Matt, there was another clip, and you make a great point with that. There was another clip that I don't know if you saw it, where he got beat. I think it was on the outside, and the kid had him right here, and he was like going at his face, like he lost, and the kid was going at him, and he didn't do anything. Like I would have headbutted the kid or done it, like something. Like if the kid's that close to me, they're this far apart, he didn't do nothing. So you make a great point.
It's a different generation, bro. I'm having a hard time with this generation right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I understand, Matt. I understand. Well, Matt, let's move forward. And this was an interesting story that I thought you might react quite accordingly to. Matt, Russell Wilson reportedly asked the Broncos for a 7-year, $350 million contract that was fully guaranteed in 2022. Wilson testified Denver seemed open to the deal. 10 days later, Russ felt like the team got cold feet. And this was obtained via a collusion document via NBC. As a Bronco, how do you feel about that, seeing that? I know how big of a fan you are.
I thought they gave him a guaranteed contract.
His contract, was it fully guaranteed, though?
Yeah, I thought it was fully guaranteed anyway.
Let me look at Russell Wilson's contract.
I mean, he got fucking broke off, bro. He was getting paid last year by Denver while he was starting in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, the deal didn't even fucking –
It wasn't this big. The deal wasn't this big, though. It was 5 years. The deal was 5 years, $245. I don't know. Let me see how much was guaranteed.
Well, it's all bad. Every penny thrown at him is wasted. So, I don't like this guy. I think he's a smug fuck. I think he's as fake as you can get in a human being. If you could wrap fakeness in a human being, this would be the face of it. Like if you could wrap incompetence into a president, it would be the second George W. Bush. Like, or like if you could wrap incompetence into like a situation, I'm sure you could find tons of different shit out there to put a face on. He is the face of wasted money in the quarterback room. Like, he's a fucking chop. I hate him. And you know I hate him. And you brought this on there just for me to say that I fucking hate him. So, yeah, I hate him. That's what I think.
From one to another, Matt, let's go to another quarterback who I know you're just a massive fan of. Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show, and he said, I think it's pretty obvious, but he said, I'm pretty sure this is it. This is the last season of his NFL career, and he's going to finish it in Pittsburgh. How do you feel about the Steelers season and hearing this news?
Look, man, I just – Aaron is so full of shit. He sits there and talks about the fact that he doesn't want to be seen and he doesn't want to be heard, but he goes on McAfee every week.
Yeah.
Like you're not helping the Steelers brand or like giving an insight into the team. You're talking about politics and like personal shit and this chick that you just married out of the fucking blue in the offseason apparently. And
supposedly.
So supposedly, like he probably married himself. I would bet that Aaron married Aaron. He's in there, Chicago backhanding himself. Right. So he's just full of shit to me. Like if you say you don't want to do all of this shit and you want to disappear, when I'm done in Pittsburgh, I'm going to be gone. You're never going to see me again. Well, could we start that trend right now? Can I just see you on Sundays when you play Pittsburgh Steeler football? That's the only time I want to see you or hear from you. And that's even pushing it.
No.
So, like, just fuck off with this, Aaron. Just stop. Last year when he got hurt with the Jets, did he continue the Pat McAfee show? Or 2 years ago? No. He didn't do the show while he had a torn Achilles. So, just Aaron, take some of your own advice and disappear now, please. God damn, this guy's annoying as fuck. I can't wait until this fucking era of quarterbacks gets out of the NFL. Like the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I like Matt Stafford, so I'll throw him in there. But still, the Jared Goff.
Matt Stafford's a baller.
I'm not saying. I just said I like Mike Stafford, but I still have to throw him in there because that's the era he's in.
Yeah.
But Jared Goff's the Geno Smiths. this super average fucking generation of quarterback play. I'm over it, bro. And Aaron Rodgers has now securely put himself in the average era of quarterback play.
So let's look on the field for his last year in Pittsburgh for the Steelers. How do you envision their season going? Personally, I'm pretty optimistic because I thought Russell Wilson at times, I thought he elevated the Steelers, passing offense to an extent, but there was a limit. There was a ceiling with Russ, and I think we saw that especially when he played Baltimore in the playoffs. Now I think Aaron Rodgers, that takes their ceiling way higher, and you throw DK Metcalf in the mix. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Look, I think that they have the opportunity to be really good. Mm-hmm. But again, I felt like the Jets had an opportunity to be really good too, but they were in a winnable division.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Pittsburgh can win their division. I feel like they can compete for the division, but you want, like, when it comes down to it, am I going to pick old ass fucking Aaron Rodgers who doesn't work out and I guarantee he's going to get hurt, and this is going to be a bad decision for Pittsburgh. Over Joe Burrow? No. I'm not going to take him over. Would I take him over Flacco? No. Cleveland didn't.
Damn.
Cleveland took Flacco over Rodgers. Cleveland could have signed Aaron Rodgers. They didn't. They went and signed fucking Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and shit. So obviously they don't think he can play, and I'm damn sure not going to take him over motherfucking Lamar Jackson. So I don't know, dog. I feel like this is probably Tomlin's last year and Aaron's last year. They can just gift wrap it together.
Tomlin's last year too? Damn, Matt. Why do you say that?
Because I think people are going to look at this situation when it blows up in his face and realize that he doesn't have a plan for moving forward. He's just living off the past. And with a good defense and game management, the way he does it, you can win 8 or 9 games a year, but that's not Pittsburgh's standard. They need to go back into the draft and find another generational quarterback that's going to help them win titles, i.e. Terry Bradshaw, i.e. Ben Roethlisberger, guys who they drafted, developed, and brought them titles. That's the way this works. So the fact that they didn't draft a quarterback till the 6th round, I doubt he plays. We'll see what he does next year. But Pittsburgh tried to do this. They just were in the Kenny Pickett draft. And I think the Kenny Pickett draft hurt their feelings so bad that they were scared to pick Shador. Like, I think that Mike Tomlin lives so far in the past that he lets his victories and his defeats set the tone for the present.
Interesting. Here's what I'm going to say. If Pittsburgh wins 10 games, I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere. It's hard for me to see a team in 2025 fire a coach winning 10 games. Now, I know the Bears fired Lovie Smith doing that. And several other coaches have had this happen. I just don't see it with Pittsburgh. I think they're going to stay loyal to Tomlin. I also think, Matt, but I think to your point, you have a point. They might be scared drafting a higher round quarterback. I think they also might have learned from drafting a higher round quarterback. I think they drafted Will Howard in hopes of him developing under Aaron Rodgers. I think they knew going into the draft that Aaron was coming there. And then,
Aaron Rodgers isn't going to help anybody develop.
Pretty damn good quarterback, especially coming over from K-State.
He's a good quarterback, bro. You could put about 15 different guys on that team and they would still win a national title.
Yeah. Well, same round.
He's like the Trent Dilfer of college football fucking national championships, bro. Like, come on. You've got to put 20 different guys with balls.
I'm trying to look at what the Steelers might be envisioning and trying to do, and that's what I think
it's going to be bad and good. I hope it is.
So, do you think that the Steelers will win what they traditionally do, 9 or 10?
I think they're going to be 7-11 or 8-9 or something like that.
Yeah,
7-10, 8-9, something like that.
I think they'll win 10 to 12 games. I think with
12
Aaron,
games in that division? No fucking way.
I think one of those teams is going to be down. I think it's probably Baltimore, in my opinion. I know people don't want to hear that. Might be against the grain, but I don't know. I think that's going to be a really tough division. I expect the Bengals to be back and formidable in that division. Man, Matt, let's move forward. We got to discuss some college football news that I think you can give some real insight to based on your profession and the position you're in, Matt. But Wisconsin has filed a tampering lawsuit against Miami over Xavier Lucas, DB. this is unbelievable. We're having lawsuits over tampering in college football, Matt.
As we should.
Yeah, this has something to do with Xavier Lucas signing a revenue sharing contract and Miami, quote unquote, knowingly inducing Lucas. Matt, with your insight, what are your thoughts on this situation?
This is the first of many. I think there's going to be a lot of rich lawyers and busy judges. Because we've talked about this on this show, and people can sit here and act like I don't know what I'm talking about all you want. But if you go follow my social media pages, there's no question that I know what I'm doing. At the mega camp we just had, we had 9 guys get offered in one day. No one else got offered at the camp, just the 6-year-old guys. Like, they're getting paid hand over foot. Deacon's about to commit. Like, I know what I'm talking about because I work with a ton of kids and a ton of players, and there's no regulation here and there's no rules. So that means coaches call me and go, I'll use Shea Landipa, who's in the NFL now. Shea signed, I think he signed with the Titans. Can check that for me. The Boise State.
I didn't know he was down here.
I remember where he signed. But Shea was a great player for Boise, and before his senior year, when they won the Mountain West, everybody wanted him to transfer. Hey, what do you think you can do to get Shea to transfer? And I'm sitting there in the middle of it like, well, that's some shady shit. Like, you just want me to fucking just Cole Taylor, what will he transfer? Like, I don't know, dog. Like, it's the inability for the NCAA or college football as a whole or whatever to figure out some basic rules so we can move forward and, like, do things correctly is incredible to me, Bailey. Yeah. It really is, bro. Like, I am fucking dumbfounded on how bad I'm dumbfounded on how much they complain yet do nothing about it. Like, you can't complain for 100 years about not getting paid, and then when you start getting paid, complain about getting paid because there's no structure, and bitch about there being no structure, but you won't help establish any. And you don't want any rules either because now the coaches can break all the fucking rules. It just seems to me like everybody loves to just wallow in the anarchy that is now college football rather than trying to have some structure that protects both the players, coaches, and the institutions, because that's what structure does. It's not meant to be fair. Fair is an outcome that everybody is okay with, not really that fucking excited about. They're just like, it's okay. This outcome isn't, even with the players getting paid, do you think that the players are being accurately compensated? No, they're still being underpaid. So again, they're throwing $20 million, which turns out to be 13 or 14 because you have to pay the other sports out of that $20 million at each school. Hopefully that'll shut everybody up, but it won't. Mm-hmm. It won't. And I'm not going to say people are greedy. I'm going to say people know their worth these days. So you're not going to get somebody that's just going to walk in there and play for free anymore. And the tampering is part of this. So if you're an underpaid player that's overachieving on the field, tape doesn't lie. People see it. And all they have to do is make a couple phone calls to figure out that you're being underpaid. I work with a ton of players. If a coach calls me and goes, what this guy make? I'm in the business of finding the most money and the best outcome for my player, right? So, of course, I'm going to fucking use that leverage because that's what this entire business is fucking built on. So, the NCAA, college football as a whole and everything that goes into it, they can't complain about this and expect me to take them seriously anymore.
Yeah. Well said, Matt. And
Did you and JB have it out this morning on the show or something? Because, folks, this is 0 to 60. If you want to talk to Bailey about JB's show, get on JB's show.
Yeah, I don't know. They're arguing. Me and him had an argument about Shane Gillett. It has nothing to do with this.
The comedian?
Yeah.
He's funny as fuck. How can you argue about him?
He thinks he's a nobody and he's not a real
guy. Let me guess. Can I guess? Is it because he's not like 75 years old?
He compared him to Drewski, Matt. And Drewski, as you know, is a social media.
I'm not a real big fan of Drewski. I don't think he's very funny.
Like, Shane went to open mics and worked his way up. That was our whole beat. But
Is it? I'm sure it has something to do with technology based and like.
Yes, it's that he's a social media and that he's only known because of social media and he's not actually good at stand-up. Blah blah blah.
I think he's pretty funny.
Me too. I thought he's huge, man. I don't understand.
I think he's hilarious.
I don't get the beef, but
did you see he's hosting the ESPYs? He's gonna. He's gonna. And look, I think he's perfect for that because he's not like super woke. Like he'll get up there and fucking make fun of people left and right.
He'll go all sides.
He's gonna crush motherfuckers when they go to the ESPYs, bro. It's not gonna be some like Mickey Mouse shit, which I'm sure that they're hoping it's for because it is Disney. But I would say that he's gonna get up there and make fun of everybody pretty hard. It makes me want to watch the ESPYs because I think he's pretty funny.
Yeah, and he's everywhere, man. He's doing a hell of a job. Shout out to him. Matt, we got two more topics when we come back from the break. But we have to before we go to commercial, actually, I'm going to show this. Matt, I don't know if you know the 76ers, Jared McCain, he paints his nails, Matt. And he showed this to, comedian Funny Marco. Take a look here.
Fingernail polish is coming out. Explain it. What's the story behind it?
I'm wearing it right now, man. Bucket blue, self-explanatory. Point guard pink. Goat gold, what are we striving to be? Net neutral, real calm.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. One of my kids comes home and they're like, "Dad, check out my fingernail painting. I'm gonna slap the fuck out of him." We're gonna have a problem. I'm old school parenting. I don't give a fuck. Like this shit ain't happening, dog. I don't care if they are paying you $1 million a year. You don't get to sacrifice your manhood and my fucking last name for your fingernails. I'm sorry, but I'm on the other side of that topic.
My pops is old school too, man. I don't blame you there.
It's not old school. It's men don't.
I mean, it's real. Like I don't. It's like that's insane.
Like, here's my question: are you in a metal band? No. Okay. Well, then why are you painting your fucking fingernails and putting makeup on and shit? I understand if you're Rob Zombie. I get it. You probably paint them black and get a fucking cross upside down on your forehead and go to work. But you're not. You're some point guard. And you're influencing the next kid off the fucking bus who wants to be like, "Oh, I don't want to learn how to crossover, Billy. I want to learn how to paint my fucking nails like this poof." Or excuse me, like they call them in England, a puff.
Yeah, that's my problem with this. He's influencing the kids to do that dumb shit. That's my problem. Matt, we're going to take a commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Matt Rhule and Nebraska having a giant bowl in their weight room in their massive recruiting weekend, hosting several recruits in the class of 2026. We're also going to talk about Jordan Seaton working to flip a now former Florida State offensive line commitment. We're also going to talk about the Liver King getting arrested. That and so much more on the other side. If you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want,
tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
And we're back, Matt, here on this fine Wednesday. If you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. Matt, let's get into it here. This is going to be funny. I hosted my show yesterday, Matt, and I titled it Recruiting Gone Wild. You got Thomas Castellanos infamously holding the keys to a job where he hasn't taken a snap. You got the LSU moms of some recruits suiting up, which I thought interesting. And then you got Matt Rhule hosting a giant bowl in Nebraska's weight room, Matt. I wanted to talk to you about the Cornhusker season in 2025. How do you feeling about Matt Rhule in Nebraska? And they have a giant bowl in their weight room here in the recruiting weekend this past weekend.
I think they're going to be pretty good. This is what Matt Rhule does.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised they win 10 games, honestly. Now, it makes sense. The big fucking bowl in Nebraska. I mean, it's ranch and farm country. It's what it is. Mm-hmm. This is not surprising by any means. They're trying to. Everybody's trying to like tap into the prime effect here.
Right.
Everybody's trying to find their little niche, and like he's in Nebraska gear with his chain hanging out and looking cool. You know, like CU's got fast cars and chains, and we got bulls and white bitches. That's what Nebraska's got. Do you know why? Do you know why the N? You know what the N on the helmet stands for? Knowledge. You know why they have turf on their field, right? So the cheerleaders don't eat the grass. So yeah, man. I mean, it's suiting to Nebraska's culture, and it's what they're trying to recruit and build, which is fucking meat. They're trying to get beef in there. They're trying to get big and mean on the offensive and defensive lines and get them back to what they were when they were dominant, even all the way back to Ndamukong Suh. So, you know, they have a great lineage of great players there in the offensive and defensive lines, and I think that they're just trying to show that off. But I don't have a problem with any of this. I mean, it's some redneck commie Nebraska shit, and that's what I would expect.
Oh yeah, Matt. And Coach Rhule's a winner. I mean, going back to his days at Temple, Baylor, I think
he's an awesome coach, bro. So
yeah.
I think Nebraska is going to be on the up, and if he decides to stay there, because he has a tendency to kind of build and leave, if he stays there, I think he could be a really successful coach.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Matt. And their schedule, certainly permits.
Their schedule is pretty easy.
Yeah, it certainly permits for them getting to 10 wins here. I mean, Big Ten is tough, though. We'll see. But, I mean, how do you feel about Rhule, Matt?
The Big Ten is tough at the top. The Big Ten from Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State down, the Big Ten is pretty
There's a lot of question marks, definitely, Matt. Definitely. How do you feel about Dylan Raiola going into his second season, Matt?
I feel like he should get in shape and not be round. That's not the shape we're looking for. So, good player, but we'll see. He took them to a bowl win last year, so that's good. They're on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. And wait to be seen here, Matt. Can't wait to react to what happens over in Lincoln, Matt. But let's move forward here, Matt, and get into some more Colorado Buffaloes news before we get out of here. Let's get into this. So about a week ago, Colorado hosted now former Florida State offensive line commitment Xavier Payne for a visit, and in doing so, Jordan Seaton was working on flipping him, so to speak. And this is a quote from Scott Proctor here. Payne even got to match wits with one of the most notable Buff players at the position, and Jordan Seaton, the former 5-star, ran into the top recruit, and something clicked. Me and Seaton actually got on the board for a little and compared my high school plays and showed me how they would run it. He said, We both loved the game deeply and loved talking football. Like him sitting with me wasn't because of the coaches. He had just popped up in the offensive line room to hang a poster up, and we just hit it off. Matt, since then, Xavier Payne has decommitted from Florida State, and Jordan Seaton doing his thing. We'll see if he commits to Colorado or anywhere else. He's certainly highly, highly recruited, has plenty of offers. But what are your takeaways from seeing this?
I like it. I mean, that's what you would expect from a leader like Seaton. I think that if you can flip a 6'7", 330-pound tackle, that's a good thing. But then he's got to come here and he has to work his ass off and get into the weight room and do everything, because he's not Jordan Seaton. He's not going to come and just play immediately, especially with the group they have there. The group they have there is pretty good. So I like that Seaton is doing his part. That's what leaders do. And flipping this kid from Florida State would be huge. You know, Coach Prime wants to flip him from Florida State.
Yeah.
But again, how much is Coach Prime really involved in this? He's not, other than phone calls, he's not in Boulder right now. So hats off to the staff and to the players for keeping the high standard going while Coach Prime deals with his personal issues.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that's a good point you mentioned, Matt. And Payne, talking about Colorado, he said, don't count them out of my recruitment. And about a week or so later, he decommits. Just an interesting tidbit. And Jordan Seaton doing I think it's great seeing Jordan Seaton, help recruit. And I think other offensive linemen certainly want to play with Jordan Seaton. I think that's notable. Something to watch there for Colorado and the recruitment world. Matt, before we got it, here's some news that happened, I think, today or yesterday. The Liver King, I don't know if you know this is, Matt, influencer, was arrested after he posted. He's been posting some weird shit recently, just some weird, cynical, weird shit. And he was, I guess, arrested.
That caught line to the entire country and fucking I'm losing my mind.
I'm talking within the last 3 weeks what he's been doing. But yes, backstory, there you have it. But he was arrested after here's the video.
Terroristic threat towards Joe Rogan. Have fun going to prison, homie. I mean, I'm sure he'll bond himself out and go to court, and he'll probably get probation because he's got money. But
I don't know.
Look, this guy, I watched this video. He's a psychopath, bro.
Yeah.
This guy is on some major drugs. And his whole team's around him, too. Like, what he's saying in this video is nuts. Doesn't make any sense. Like, I just put down the fucking crack, dog. Like, you're supposed to. Primals didn't have crack.
Yeah, I'm really confused. Where's his team telling him, what the fuck are you doing?
Where's his wife or his kids being like, yo, what are you doing? Stop doing what you're doing, dummy. I don't know. This is a bad look. This guy's fucking cuckoo crazy, bro. Anybody that eats raw fucking anything other than like seafood and pussy, I don't want to fucking deal with you. Did you catch that?
Yes, you're hilarious. The only thing, he I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He was right about the liver. The liver is good for you. I will say.
Hey, did I see P. Diddy got off?
I guess
they dropped a bunch of the charges.
Dropped, yeah. I don't know if he got off completely, but
at the end of this, it's just going to be P. Diddy released. He's just a freak, folks. We don't know what to tell you. Shit.
So yeah, they dropped attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding sex trafficking charges. I mean, Jeff Nadeau, who I've had on my show and talked about this, he said the case against Diddy was light, and I heard a lot of people say that. I'm not into the legalities. I don't follow this by any means, but that's just what I've heard. So seeing that, I'm like, something doesn't surprise me based on what I've heard from other people.
I'll tell you, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. Can't be stopped now. So this baby roll for life.
Yeah, there you go. Matt, great show here on this fine Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday to talk all things Colorado Buffaloes football here as we get closer to the season. This is really the last little stretch here before we get into July media weekends, and then we'll really start ramping up here. Training camp following after that. Matt, we're almost there, almost to a massive season ahead in college football and for Coach Prime in Colorado. Any closing thoughts?
Have a great day. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy it.
Sounds good, folks. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family. We'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you for watching.